Caroline Levit is now officially back from maternity leave and, of course, crazier than ever. She officially came back on Monday, kicking off her official job duties with an appearance on Fox and Friends early Monday morning. And Fox and Friends, of course, is broadcasting from the vacant America 250 event. And Caroline Levit told everybody, one, that this is a huge success. When you can literally see behind them on the couch, there is nobody there. But two, she made the shocking claim that everybody needs to vote for Trump to support him. She didn't even necessarily specify, like, in the midterm. She just said, vote for Trump. Let me read you this whole absolutely insane statement from Caroline Levit. Again, this was Fox and Friends Monday morning. The president is always willing to sit down and meet with anyone. There have been countless times where I have seen elected Democrat officials in the Oval Office, Governor Gavin Newsom, Zohran Mamdani himself. After his election, the president invited him in to have a productive conversation about the future of our country. However, I know the president and many Americans are extremely concerned how far left the Democratic Party is moving. You see these candidates. This is not your granddaddy's Democrat Party. These are communists. The president is right to call them that. Now, there's like 5 more paragraphs I have to read here, but correct me if I am wrong, Caroline. Wasn't it actually 2 summers ago? And then also last September? Oh, and then also right after the White House Correspondents' Dinner, when you, and everybody else that's a part of this administration, all other forms of right-wing politicians, all of you were telling people like me that you're not allowed to call people names because it's getting people killed or attempted to be killed, allegedly. Right? So we can't use accurate terms to describe you people like fascists. But you can go out there and call democratic socialists communists and then go on national cable news and defend your ability to call those people names. Right? So I just want to make sure we're totally clear on that, Caroline. It's evil and horrible and inspiring violence when people like us do it. But when you, dipshits, put an incorrect political ideology on candidates, that's totally acceptable. Okay, just wanted to make sure we're totally crystal clear on that because it's a little confusing, Caroline. But she continues, they want to abolish private prisons. Fuck yeah. I noticed she didn't say they want to abolish prisons, right? They want to abolish private prisons. You know, the things that have a higher abuse rate, the things that have a higher escape rate, the things that are screwing taxpayers out of billions of dollars, and of course being sued by inmates for the inhumane, borderline torturous treatment they're receiving there, and we want to abolish them because we're evil? They want to abolish the police. They want to abolish private property. I will say for the record, I haven't heard any of these candidates actually say abolish the police. And I've sure as hell not seen any of them say abolish private property. These are radical Marxist ideas that have never worked in the history of the world, and I think it's a choice coming up between communism and common sense. That's how the president views it, and that's why Americans need to vote for the president and the Republican Party and the common sense ideals that make this the greatest nation in the history of the world. Now, here's the thing. Trump is not on the ballot. Ever again, literally ever again. So to say people need to vote for him is just a really dumb thing to say. Second of all, you want to talk about communism? Here is something that happens in the countries that, of course, do practice communism. You have a central figure, a dictator, effectively, every time communism has really been put in practice. If we want to talk about history, because you brought up history, Caroline, so let's talk about it. In the times throughout world history where communism, of course, has been implemented, it's never been textbook communism. Because in theory, communism could work. In practice, you always end up with, a strongman type figure at the top who ends up becoming a dictator. And they do the things that Donald Trump has literally been doing for the last 18 months. They take over industry and take all the profits. That's the number one thing. What has Trump done? Nvidia tried to get a cut of TikTok. Wants all these other things, wants the oil industry to give their profits to him, his administration. He is literally doing the things that communist dictators have done throughout history. And you sit there on your first day back from maternity leave accusing other people of being communists. Un-effing believable. But she's back, folks. And as I said at the start, she is apparently crazier than ever. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.